stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate.
Welcome to the first episode of the Limitless Podcast featuring Harshil Thaker. Look, I got a great group of people here, but before we get started, I want to let you know what makes this podcast different from every other podcast that you've heard. The Limitless Podcast, we're going to be focusing on the culture, not just interviewing clients, not just interviewing DJs, talent, and celebrities, but the actual culture, what we do for our community, and everything in between. So before we start, I want to shout out to Slick Barbershop, my guys, Jason, Richard, for letting us use their place, letting us film here. And I got a stacked guest list today on the Limitless Podcast. Episode 1, look, we got RND, Desh, Aura, and Ehta live in the flesh. So, how we feeling, boys?
We feeling good right now.
Outside?
Yeah, we feel good. Let's do it.
All right,
It's about time. So let's get it. Podcast been held off for a couple months.
Yeah, man. We've been holding this podcast back now for almost like 2 months now, yo. Unfortunately, still even with all that, one of the guys could not make it.
Shout out, bro, in Portugal.
Shout out to the homies in Portugal for that.
In the power outage.
in the power outage, for real. But look, guys, we got a stacked podcast here today. I got a whole bunch of questions to ask you, obviously about Aaryan, what we've been doing as a collective, and everything in between. So, you guys have been part of the journey from the beginning. So it's super, super cool that we're here now making this thing kind of happen for real. But yeah, before we dive deeper, I kind of want you guys each to give a little intro about yourselves, what you guys do, how long y'all been spinning for. By the way, if I didn't mention, these guys all spin. They're all DJs. So, man, talk a little bit about yourself. Talk some shit.
Yo, what's going on? I go by RND. I'm with MVP DJs. I DJ for them right now. I'm an A DJ, but by the end of the year, we're about to pop off. Season about to go crazy. I'm a student too at Rutgers. Final year, about to graduate, about to turn up. Been DJ for about 3 years. Joined Rutgers, joined the frat life. Frat culture. Got into DJing then, and then honestly, that wasn't the limit for me. I had to go further, so I pushed myself, told myself I could do better than what my competitors were doing, and we turned up. Yeah.
Desh, how about you? Talk to us.
What's good, guys? I'm Desh. My name is Aaryan. I go to Rohan, actually. I'm a senior as well. I've been spinning for about 3 years. And again, I had a kind of a similar story to Rohan right here. Started spinning my frat parties. We actually met through our fraternity. So eventually, because of that, I ended up joining MVP DJs. And now I'm an ADJ myself. And sky's the limit, man. See where we can go from here.
You want to tell the folks what an ADJ is? For those who don't know.
An ADJ is an assistant DJ.
That's outside motion.
That is outside motion.
That's outside motion.
Do a lot of back end work.
I was about to talk some smack, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. Khush, what are we feeling?
My name is Khush, better known as DJ Aura. Representing DJ USA. I've been DJing for about 4 years now. I've been producing music, been making mixes since 2018. Started off in that route, and then I got into live DJing. Started off in college. I was doing a lot of clubs, that sort of nightlife scene, and then now I'm focused more on the private aspect, weddings, and just that sort of thing. I was also a student at Rutgers, similar to Rohan and Harshil himself.
Yeah, forget about me. Fuck me.
Me and Harshil were both the same age. We graduated last year, both engineering majors.
We also lived together. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
2 years. But yeah, man. Ehta, go ahead, bro.
What's up, guys? I guess best for last, right?
Yeah.
So, my name is Ehta. I go by DJ Ehta. Unlike these guys, I'm not in MVP or USA, but sort of been doing my own thing.
Riding solo.
He's outside.
Riding solo, Shout out my man, Jason Derulo, for that. But I guess I had a different approach to the game. I always had a strong passion for DJing. Just because I was interested after my brother's wedding, got to see the behind the scenes work of a DJ, what a DJ does, what an MC does. And I sort of fell in love with it just because music has been a strong passion for me. I always loved music growing up. Always had the aux at family functions, house parties, and then sort of got into it because a bunch of my coworkers during my freshman year at Rutgers, I also go to Rutgers, about to graduate, but yeah, like a bunch of my coworkers were like, yo, Ehta, you should consider DJing or get into that. And I was like, maybe we'll see. And then from there, just started doing my research and bought myself a controller. And then from there, just never looked back.
Recent Serato DJ, by the way. Recent Serato change.
Made the switch.
Started off at Record Box, but then made the switch to a Serato. About
good
So, you know, if you know, you
But
know.
yeah, I've been doing it for 2 years. Just entered, like, hitting my 3rd year right now, but it's relatively new and excited to see where it takes me.
100%, guys. So look, fun fact about all y'all. Y'all have all spun for an appearance event in some way, shape, or form. Whether it was Halloween, Kyle Rich, Lil TJ, you guys have done everything for us. So first of all, thank you on that end of things, because I know sometimes we're a pain in the ass with
Thanks for having
with these sections and these ticket requirements. So sometimes we get it, it gets frustrating. But again, these guys, yo, have been killing it for us every fucking time. So look, yo, again, as I said, y'all have spun for an appearance event. So I kind of want to know, like, again, this is for the culture, not just me interviewing straight up questions, asking you silly questions and simple questions that, you know, you can find on Hinge. But, right, Ehta? So, anyways, I want to ask you guys, what is like a core memory at an appearance event that you guys have had? We'll go backwards this time, Ehta. You can start. Just anything that you've thought of at the top of your head, anything that comes to your head. I can think of one moment right now, and one picture in particular. But go ahead, bro.
I'll start it off. I guess it was Saints and Sinners 2, I think. It was Saints and Sinners 2. Khush was co-headlining, and then I think Hills was Khush was opening, Hills was co-headlining, and I just saw the way Hills got up on that stage, and I was with my friends, and in that moment I was just like starting off as a DJ. This was back in like 2023, and I was just like, damn, I want to be there. Like, I want to be up there one day. And I manifested that moment, and from there on I just put in the work, grinded, and eventually came to the point where this past 2024 October, Fright Night 3, Halloween, you guys knocked on my door and just was like, do you want to DJ? And I was like, fuck yeah, like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was nervous, you know, like prepping for the event, leading up to it. First time doing a nightclub, especially as big as Noto. And then the moment I just played my first song, I didn't look back.
Mind you, a little backstory. This event had like 1,300, 1,400 people. So this ain't no like, we're just shooting with 200 people, blah, 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 at a small club. This is like legit business.
Yeah.
At the biggest club in Philadelphia, by the way. So
yeah, shout out Noto.
Yeah.
But yeah, like definitely, you know, Philly crowds could get rough. A bunch of my friends came out, family came out. Like, it was definitely surreal. And like, just being up there after hitting that play button, everything, all the jitters went away, and I just entered my zone. And from there on, seeing people screaming the songs that I was playing and everything like that, it was a surreal feeling.
That's fire, bro. I mean, I remember sitting there. I mean, there's one iconic moment that we all make fun of in our chats.
There's a lot of
iconic moments.
Noto was good, but Noto had its moments too.
I think I think the one thing that everybody remembers is the text that I got from the venue, and it's funny. But we're not gonna bring up that text in the podcast. But it was such a iconic moment. But yeah, man, like, I remember that day. Obviously, we got Jason in the back there. We get mad stressed out during events, so it's like, for us, you know, we just gotta trust our DJs and make sure they're doing the right thing and kind of let them do their own thing. Unless we hear something, we're just letting them rock out and let them do their thing. But yo, I remember that day. Pleasure, yo, sick having you there, bro.
Real quick, just want to shout out Desh, RND, Bars, and all the MVP guys, whoever popped out. Like, they kept that momentum going and like pushed me. Like, seeing them hype me up, that's what made me have a great time at the end of the night, and I was able to have a good time with my friends.
That's fire, man.
That's all that matters.
Preach, bro, preach.
Khush, what about you, brother?
My most memorable appearance event is probably got two. It's both the Ezu shows last year.
Pause, yo. We gotta shout out celebrity DJ. Celebrity. You didn't know, now you know.
Here. My bad. Your emotion crazy, bro.
My bad. But I mean, I think like I've been listening to Ezu himself since like high school, and then like whatever happened last year with Zach Knight, he didn't work out. Ezu came along the week of, and then that worked out. But I mean, I think it was sophomore year. We were outside the Livy Student Center, and then that's when like Ezu dropped an album, and I told Harshil was like, "You fucking love this guy." Like, pardon my language, but I was like, "Yeah." Like, and then he was like, "If he ever came to America, would you go to his show?" Because I barely ever go to concerts, any of that stuff. Like, I'll just go to clubs.
He's too good for that.
I mean, yeah, like I just don't like it that much.
Concerts,
but then, yeah, and then Alright. But like Herschel, that day I still remember it was like our sophomore year outside Livy Student Center. He was like, would you ever go to his show in the States? And he's from the UK, if no one knows. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I love his music. I love his like original stuff, his like mixes, all that stuff. Fast forward, it's like I'm DJing for him. I was his DJ for his like Philly, New York shows that like appear on Austin. Like, that was just huge.
Yeah.
So, besides that, I mean,
I remember when that whole phase was happening with Zach Knight kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
And you know, we had someone tell me that dude, I was bugging out that day. I still
It's a
remember
lot.
I got the phone call and I was bugging. I told Jason, I was like, yo, we gotta figure this shit out. And then we and me and someone who will not be named figured it out. And you know, I remember telling him, I'm like, yo, we got Ezu. Like I
was lit either way.
He was
Zach Knight,
turned.
Ezu, yeah.
Yeah, he was turned. But I still remember that show. It was an iconic show. Yo, shout out to Sean, Ezu, that whole team.
Yeah.
Like they killed it. They took care of us, and especially on the week of, man, like that whole event. Like we had 600 people in New York, 500-ish people in Philly. You know, it would have been insane if that all fell through.
So it was like, yeah, and like you guys trusted me for like both those shows, especially like considering everything that happens. Like, appreciate that. Jason, Harshil, Khush, all y'all. And then even like after the show, we were just like, I think we were backstage or like outside Roar, and then Ezu like was like, out of all the shows I've done, he has done, he just complimented me as a DJ. He was like, you're very easy, great DJ, like setting the vibes for him. So that really meant a lot as well.
Desh, I know one moment in particular that just happened a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
But
Celebrity DJ.
it's a big celebrity DJ here, and if anything, you got his number. So talk about it, bro. I still remember that day like it was yesterday, even though it was literally 3 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
talk to me.
Before we get to that event, it's kind of like a sequential order of things that happened at Aaryan events. I'll start like 2 years ago when I went to Halloween at Noto. I think Div was DJing. I think at that point I'd like set my sight that like, yo, I want to do Noto in my head. And then this past fall, I did Halloween. I opened up, and there I was like, I was pretty happy. Like, yo, I accomplished my goal. I spun at Noto. And then, as you just mentioned, like 3 weeks ago, or not 3 weeks ago, a little while back, you hit me up talking about, do you want to DJ?
Well, we was at your house.
We was literally at your house. Yeah,
We was at your house just playing
we were playing poker.
And I asked you, I'm like, yo,
your pockets.
yeah, and I'm like, yo,
Right.
yeah, that was crazy. No need for that.
We don't gotta do that.
No need- yo, that mad confidence when he said that.
We
But
can run it back if you want.
I remember sitting there asking you, I'm like, yo, like, are you down? Because I know you fuck with Kyle Rich.
Yeah.
And then we FaceTimed Jason, and then we was like, yo, just lock it in. Like, let's get it sorted. We took us a little bit to officially lock it in, but eventually we got it down. I remember you were turned, bro. So I mean, I'm gonna let you continue the story, but yeah.
Yeah. So I've been listening to Kyle Rich for a long ass time, and getting the opportunity to DJ for him, play his music in that environment was just insane. And then the moment that really sticks out to me is like, I'm in my zone. I'm trying to transition between tracks, and Kyle Rich, he like reaches over to me and gives me his phone. He's like, yo, put your number in. I put in my number real quick. I hand it back to him. He starts texting me. He's like, yo, this is Kyle Rich.
Yo, it was hot.
Hi, Kyle.
It's H.I. It's like, what?
I was like, okay.
Right, details are like unnecessary. Basically, right, he texts me, and the way we communicated that night was like by text of like what song to play. And in that like communication, he was sending me his unreleased music to play, and which I still have to this day.
Yo, that's crazy,
We
yo.
don't need to put you in a Google Drive to send that to the list.
Yo, you too federal. But I think that was like the biggest moment for me, and that's like an unforgettable moment that will stay with me forever.
I mean, I think that whole event in general, like for us behind the scenes, I remember like hopping on FaceTime with y'all, just like randomly me stressing about these ticket sales and whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, we were worried in the beginning, and eventually it turned into
Just wait it out.
yeah, like I'd consider it one of the best Aaryan events ever. Just because the crowd, the hype, the reception from the artist, like to this day he's posting pictures of our event.
Yeah.
Just for fun because he feels like it. So that's been cool. I mean, his team's always been kind of all love, and we've had him before in Penn State. So to have him bring him out in Philly, and then put on an absolute blinder of a show, and then obviously you spinning it and your dream coming true.
Yeah.
And then everything like that night was just falling in place. And I don't think anything went wrong that day, like at all. I mean, I'm sure there was one or two hiccups here, but besides that, like it was super clean.
And like one thing that I'm so proud of, that when you told me that he stayed for like nearly 2 hours.
Yeah. That's literally. Usually when artists come, they perform their songs, they're ready to leave as soon as they're done.
Yeah.
Kyle Rich came early. He had his fun. He performed and then he stayed for the entire time, and then he left. You don't see that in artists. We've had TJ. He shows up 3 songs out. Fabio Foreign, he didn't even care. He got turned, left immediately. Didn't even say bye. So again, Kyle Rich, shout out to Feed the Family, Hood, Touch, everybody on that team. Jen, Tata, appreciate you for popping out. Appreciate you for putting on a show as always. So last but not least here, we got DJ DND / RND / Rohan Desai.
What was on my phone? You can probably not. I've had a couple good moments at Noto, especially with Aperion Group. I think I've had I've been able to, I've had the opportunity to DJ for you guys for quite some time. I've done a couple events. Not as much as Celebrity DJ Aura over there. But
looking away, bro.
But yeah, I've obviously had that opportunity to be able to DJ multiple events in New York, Philly, and some of my key
We're equal.
Huh?
We're probably equal.
Probably.
If anything, you've probably done more.
Yeah, chill.
My bad to interrupt though.
Nah. You Celebrity over there.
But you're the one that did DJ for Lil TJ though, right?
No, but I feel like I'm literally like.
We'll continue this on the side. Like I said, I've obviously had that opportunity, even being attendee, not even having to DJ, just coming out with my boys. Like I said, Aperion does it the best.
I mean, again, at Kyle Rich, you guys, he was spinning. You guys weren't even spinning, and you guys all came.
Yeah, we put
to support him.
So they surprised me.
I was low key egging you on because I was egging you on. But I told him they're not coming. They're not coming, yo. Fuck them.
I was like, yo, those guys.
Yeah, start some beef, yo. Let's fuck.
He said, I remember he told you or something. He's like, yo, I always come out to their events.
Yeah, you were mad sad, upset, and I was pushing. I was like, yeah, bro, them guys suck, bro. Terrible friends. And then in the back of my head, I knew the entire time these guys were always coming, but apparently you were on Indian Standard Time. But
thank God the Standard Time,
yes, he was DJing for a celebrity himself, Nimesh Patel.
Oh, Nimesh Patel, yeah, big guy here. But yeah, dude.
I still popped up.
You did pop
That
up.
reaction was everything.
Yeah.
It was priceless.
It was a true surprise. It was a genuine surprise.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it.
Had to help out the boy.
Yeah, bro. So look, being one of the co-founders of Aperion, we're about the culture.
Damn, I just missed my entire moment.
I thought you had it.
Yo, you didn't even get there.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, 2 lines.
My bad, yo. My bad, yo.
No. I was gonna say, yo. Obviously, being an attendee, my first moment ever coming to Aperion event was Saints vs. Sinners, where Div was spinning, and that was when I first started my DJ career. And I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the peak moment for me. That's what I knew I wanted to do it. So I looked at Div's Instagram. I saw he was an MVP, and at first I thought MVP was pushing him out to all these club events and stuff. And then I got interested. Eventually, fast forward a couple months, I joined MVP, and that it happened because of Aperion. And I'm not gonna lie, Aperion, they may not be the most how do I say it's not the.
Choose your words wisely.
It's not on the face of my Instagram why I'm an MVP, but I'm an MVP because of Aperion.
Oh, damn, I did not know that.
Yeah, and it happened because of Div, and you guys had Div.
Wait, that's a cool, that's fire. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shout out, I'll tell Rewind that. Rewind texted me today about climbing mountains, but that's a different story.
We need to hear about that.
At Aperion, we're about the culture. So we do hip-hop shows, we've done Bollywood shows, we've done house events. And obviously, as DJs, you kind of have to be open to playing whatever during the time, right? You can't just stick to one set list, and it's difficult sometimes because you gotta adapt, right? Especially at a big club like Noto, where we've had some of our biggest events. You gotta adapt to the vibe. You gotta adapt to what's happening in the moment, and adapt to people are vibing to. So I want to talk to you guys. How do you guys prepare for your sets, right? Like, I remember when we used to live in the apartment together, like it'd be a Halloween night, right? The week of Halloween. And I'm already bugging about tables or whatever, right? Like I'm stressing. And then you'd be stressing about the music. So me and you would just sit in your room. I'd be on your bed, spread eagle. And
Okay. Details were not
might be TMI.
I'm needing to know that.
I got some visualization.
I'd be on your bed just laying, and you'd be just fucking playing songs on your laptop. Meanwhile, I'm texting 80 different people. Like, again, like Khush, I'll start with you because I've seen it live. Like, what is your kind of routine on prepping for a set at any event, not just Noto, but a wedding or a concert or anything?
I mean, I'll start with nightlife. I try to picture myself as if I was in the crowd. That's one of the reasons why I got into nightlife DJing, because I used to always, like, when I was a guest, it was like, I'd want to hear this, or like, I'd always take note. Even now, it's like if I'm attending a club, I take note mentally, where it's like, all right, like the DJ did this, the DJ did that, the crowd reacted this way. They could have played this song differently. So if I'm DJing a nightlife event, like a club such as Noto, when I was prepping for like Halloween and all that stuff, it's like, what age group am I going to be catering to? And then most of the times it's like appearing events or people our age, right? It's like 18 to like 24-ish.
Yeah.
So it's like people our age. So it's like, all right, what do we like? I'll go through like top 50, top 100, ask people around us. It's like, what do you like? And then just try to cater it that way. But at the same time, it's like, I feel the slots that I had in nightlife, I've been, it's been to my advantage, where it's like sort of like the prime time, but like you can't play, I've realized, the same type of genre. So it's like stuff I'd want to play, but at the same time, try to switch it up.
Cool.
Right. And then in terms of weddings, it's like, I ask clients all the time, it's like same thing. If you were, stuff I ask my bride and groom is, if you were to go out on a night out with your couple friends, 5 to 10 friends, what are songs, what are artists that you would want to listen to? And then I'd like to cater that way.
That's a good question. Building off of that question, Ehta, I'm going to go to you. When you first started, right? There's again, you guys all do this, read the crowd, right? You guys got to interpret what people are messing with, what people are not messing with. From when you first started, what's the difference in how you interpret the crowd now from, again, when you first started?
I guess when I was first starting out, I had a difficult time being able to read the crowd. Like, obviously, I would just cater to my own liking of music. But then once I realized, like, obviously that plays a factor. Like Khush mentioned, like, you picture yourself in that crowd. But also now you realize that there's different styles, different genres. There's so many different remixes to songs that you don't have to play an original song. You could switch it up, add a little more into it, right? But it's just like seeing what the vibe is and seeing it, like, basically if the crowd isn't feeling this one song or this type of genre, being able to adapt and be quick on your seat and just switch up the vibe, right? And
100%.
see if it picks up throughout the night. And that's what I was able to like learn and quickly progress on.
That's fire, yeah. Again, building off of that, Desh, I'm going to go to you. Actually, both of y'all, you guys can figure out how you guys want to talk first. But you guys both started attending apparel events, right? And again, from the crowd reaction point of view, when you're, again, all DJs do this, yo, that DJ sucks up there. That guy's at. For some reason, y'all just hate each other. I don't know why. That's none of my business. That's for y'all to figure out.
I don't participate in that.
I'm critiquing.
So y'all love critiquing each other. But from being on the crowd's point of view and then finally transitioning to being able to spin on a big stage, what's kind of the first thing that's going through your head? Or like, what's something that you're thinking about? All right, yo, when I was in the crowd, like X, Y, and Z. I'll let you guys figure out who wants to talk first here.
I'll let my boy Desh go.
So I think from a crowd or a guest perspective, or as someone who is also a guest but also a DJ, you approach it with like a different mindset. Even when you're in the crowd and you're having fun, I really appreciated when there was like a constant like energy build up. Like you weren't just like, when you show up to an event, you're not just getting blasted with like the most hype, the craziest remixes, right? All the songs that everyone wants to hear. I appreciated when there would be like a gradual like increase in energy and vibe.
Yeah.
And then eventually like the ceiling pops.
Well, it's cool that you mentioned that because, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all been part of group chats that I created where I'm making group chats with all the DJs. And especially you took initiative, that Kyle Rich event.
Yeah.
Being like, yo, what are you guys playing? What's the vibes? Let's not overlap songs. let's not do. Oh, he's looking at somebody.
Okay, we got my boy Bars, who's in Portugal, was on at his ass, bro.
Sensitive topic.
On at his ass.
I don't want to get into that, but
But whatever, right? But you get my point, right? You guys, I throw you guys into a group chat. You guys kind of figure it out somewhat. Fine, you guys overlap 4 or 5 songs, whatever, cool, right? But most of the set is energy buildup. You're not fucking playing, Mo Bamba at 10 p.m. when the fucking doors is open. You know what I mean? That's just a very extreme example, but you get my point. Like that is a very good point that you guys are that you're making in particular.
And I guess part of that is also like when you're a guest and you see that, and then also when you're a DJ, it's also like knowing your slot and knowing the time that you're playing, what type of music to play.
You have to kind of humble yourself.
Yeah,
in a way.
you do. Sometimes you got to put your pride to the side and play the right type of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's because that's just what's needed.
I think being an opener is probably the hardest part about being a DJ.
100%.
You got limited selection compared to a headliner who has like this open book.
You can just play the
whatever you
bangers
want.
regardless.
to set the tone.
Bro, yeah, whoever opens, like you've opened a couple times, you've never opened, I don't think, have you?
For the no event.
Wait, when?
Saints were Sinners and Halloween.
You didn't open, you were like the middle slot. Yeah. And then you were also the middle slot.
Co-headliner.
Makes yourself feel good, right?
But yeah, man, so I definitely agree with that. Like, that opening spot, like, yeah, it's like, in terms of what we required to secure that spot, it's the least amount. But it's, if anything, it's the hardest set to play because you can't, again, like you said, you can't play the bangers. You can't play top 100, you can't play the Billboard top 50, whatever it is. Hot 97, the whole freaking playlist. But again, yeah, man, I interrupted you. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, like just to piggy off that, like, being an opener is crazy because people are walking in, they're either pre-gamed or they're not teed enough. And where are they going to be at? They're going to be at the bar.
You know what you call that? Slang, not teed enough.
They're going to be at the bar. They're just going to be at their table on the ground, just cooling. When there's no one there, there's no hype.
So building off of that, like whenever we on the back end of things, whenever we are introducing tables, the whole team's running around, at least on our end, we're stressing about getting people in the door, right? And then it's all like a 100% trust system where we just lay it all on you. Like, yo, rock out. Like, you guys are doing this for the first time, but we trust you. Make sure the room's moving. Make sure people are having fun. Balls are coming out. People are getting intoxicated. And
Teed up.
teed up. And people are having fun. So, again, mad respect for all y'all because, I mean, you guys have been all in this very similar position to where we put the pressure on you guys and we expect a certain level of professionalism. We've dealt with a certain number of people who are unprofessional, and I'm not going to kind of, put that out in the air right now.
I have a follow-up question, though, before you finish this. For, like, you, Jaisal, if you want to enter, do you guys, when you're at these events, do you guys ever feel like, I'd say, like, mid-event or, like, after you open doors, do you guys ever feel nervous or, like, pressurized? That, like, all right, is the opening DJ going to, like, set the vibes right? Do you guys ever, like, feel nervous? All right, are people going to leave early?
You could go first.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, first of all, give him a little intro.
I mean, I'm Jay. I go by Jay. That's all y'all know. But I work in the background. I go to law school. I'm trying to be a lawyer. Work on these things in the background and stuff like that. Harshil's our face, of course, and he's always been pushing the content, and it grows the company a lot. But yeah, to go back to your question, honestly, like the whole time, even until like the end, like I'm freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, bro.
Like even when the artist's manager calls and he's like, "I'm coming early." Like for Kyle Rich, like he's like, "I'm coming 1 hour early."
Half an hour, yeah, like an hour early.
And you kind of just got to go with the flow and figure things out as you go. But even like when the event ends, like when the artist leaves, like I'm thinking about like hopefully everybody has a good time and still is partying after that.
I think even building off of that, yo, like even when he's in Texas, like we're getting texts like, yo, how is it looking? What's it looking like? Like we're always stressed out. Like, I mean, you've seen it, right? Where I'm like bugging out in the car and like I'm getting 50 phone calls at a time talking about some bullshit that went wrong or something that's happening. And so yeah, to answer your question, there is a lot of pressure. I think we're really good at hiding it.
But I think in terms of like the music,
In the music, I would say yes. Because again, we've had moments where it's like, all right, like, the opener will play a banger, and we're just like, yo, like, but I think it's a little different because we're running around all the time. Like, we don't really pay attention. Again, we're kind of trusting y'all to do your thing, and we don't really pay attention to the music like that unless somebody comes up to us physically or shoots me a text while I'm on call or whatever. Hey, yo, just change it up. But most of the time, not really in terms of the music. Everything else, yes, but not the music. But yeah. All right, word. So look, guys, I want to kind of move on to another kind of general question that I feel like y'all will have a similar answer to, but not really, because again, you guys all do weddings, you guys all do college formals, you guys all do obviously the club shit. But what's your favorite event, like outside of a Piran, just like a memory that you have from DJing that be like, you know what, like, yo, I've made it, or I'm making it towards the goal that I want to make it, and where you kind of realize like, yo, like, this is not no joke no more. Like, I'm taking it seriously, and it's benefiting me.
Yeah. I won't get started because this one with my boy Khush. We might all be competitors at the end of the day, but we all work together collaboratively, make events as fucking lit as they can possibly be. I think the best event I've probably done outside of Imperial was Tesher with Dia at Rutgers. So
Crazy.
That was probably the most lit event I've done. That even just for Dia, like their attendees and stuff like that, it wasn't a collaborative event. So it was just Dia, Tesher, having all those attendees packing out that entire room, and having the people that ran it come up to us after and be like, yo, out of 3 years, 4 years they've been in college, like, that was probably the best.
That was a great event. I mean, I was filming for him that day. It was turn. Like, I was having a great time, even just filming the shit.
It was lit, dude. The entire time, we had people on the stage, we had people on the floor, lights. We went full production on that. Shout out to MVP for hooking it up too. Like, they gave us literally everything we could have ever asked for, and we ended up turning that place up.
Oh,
Crazy. We had like haze, beams, with like full sound production.
4 tops, 2 subs.
Yeah.
Up lights. We literally went all out.
Projector.
Yeah, we had a projector.
Oh yeah, you did have a projector. Yeah, a memory I have from that is us going backstage after.
Oh yeah,
meeting with
that
him
picture
and getting the picture with him. It was mad random because like we were just chilling, and I've met Tesher a couple times before. So for me, it was like, yo, like, oh, he was also there. Etta was there.
Yeah, supposed to shout.
Yeah, we got to shout out Etta too.
Well, yeah.
We took the picture. Etta took the.
I was also handling the video board.
Yeah, it's crazy because Etta didn't even get a picture.
we had him DJ actually for content.
While they took their pictures, I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was like full circle, right? Because I've met Tesher a couple times before, you know, just hanging out. So seeing him at our school.
That was nuts, bro.
Yeah, like that was insane. I kind of want to segue now. Like, very similar question, but look, when's a moment, Desh, this is for you. When's a moment that like everything just clicked? Like, yo, like you were nervous, whatever. I mean, again, you could say Kyle Rich, but I'm sure there was a moment where you were like, yo, like, you know what? I just do one thing and then boom, everything's like chill. You're lax.
Yeah, I can definitely. First, I think the biggest thing where I was really nervous for was Kyle Rich. Even now, I always still get a little bit nervous for my events, but it's like manageable. But with Kyle Rich, just because I knew it was so big, like I woke up in the morning feeling nervous. And like, I'll be open about that because, you know.
I mean, why wouldn't you feel nervous? You know what I mean?
Like, I woke up and I was like, holy shit, like it's actually happening. But I was kind of geeking all day about it. Just going through my set list, be like, all right, like, I know what to do.
Yo, look at this guy, dude. Yo, that's crazy.
Grow the beard out.
Keep going.
All right. So, yeah. So I mean, I was like nervous all day. Finally, the event comes, and like, at this point, right, I'm low key drinking a little bit to make myself like not nervous anymore.
21 plus, by the way.
21 plus. 21 plus. Don't even stress.
Trade responsibly.
Yes, sir. And then, as Jason was mentioning, he comes 30 minutes earlier than he was supposed to. So like, I'm chilling just like with my friends, having a good time at our table, and I think like Jason, I think it was Harshil, you like came up to me, he's like, yo, I need you, or no, it was Jason. He's like, yo, I need you to go on in like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, word.
That shit was crazy.
That was probably.
Yeah.
Did you say for him or not?
Yeah.
No, because
I think me and Khush just walked in at this point too.
Yeah. We'll get there too. Yeah.
And that moment was probably peak stress.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I gotta go. Changed over from the previous DJ, and then I started playing my music. And then for me, normally, like, whenever I hit my first transition in between two tracks, and then it kind of just melts away.
Yeah.
And I'm just in my zone, doing my thing.
That's fire, bro. Yeah. I mean, speaking about that, you know, you guys showing up. A little funny story that we have is the artist comes, Kyle Rich is here, right? Me and him are peak, like, yo, let's get, like, you know, Khush is bugging out with the money. He's tweaking because he's getting yelled at by the management. I'm just standing there like a bot, low key. But I remember he gets there, and I'm waiting outside. They're dealing with the money situation, and I'm outside like a freaking donut, and these guys spam calling me, you and you, yo, we're here, yo.
Well, in our defense, before you continue, we get a text right when we park, and you're like, yo, if you want to come in, you have to come in the next 5 minutes and let us know, or else we won't be able to help you.
We ran from
we
the
see
car.
that, yeah, he parks. I'm like, yo, you just got to park wherever. So he parks. We ran across the street. Probably didn't even have the crossing sign. We ran across the street, darted. Everyone's looking at us. Why are you trying to skip the line? We're like, don't worry. We're good. And then I don't know about all that, but like, and then we're spam calling them.
Like, no, spam calling is an understatement. And texting. Yeah. We were getting text calls. Yo, we're here, yo.
To be fair, you said before 12 a.m. We got there before 12 a.m.
You did. I'm not going to lie.
As per our instructions.
But okay, fine. But again, as he said, he showed up an hour fucking early. So we was tweaking out. And you guys are like, yo, we're here. Like, they're not letting us on the DJ booth.
Shout out P Shaw, bro. He got us in. He didn't get us in the halfway.
We can't get in the DJ booth. I'm like, yo, Khush, you're going to have to hold on for like 15, 20 minutes. Just like, hold up. And I remember they finally enter it. These two are just standing there.
We look like goons,
like
bro.
absolute cucks. Just sitting there.
We don't need to be here, but we here right now. Like, we sitting in the corner. No, keep in mind, we're in this hallway, all the way in the back corner. No one's there. This dude in the table right next to us, he's like, yo, can you guys move
he's
out
like,
of our
hey,
table?
big. Comes up to us like, no, like, right?
Yeah, he was a
unit. He was a unit.
Yeah, on like that side of like.
So he's there.
Yeah, and he's like
there next to the table, and it's right across the stairs of the stage. And he's like, "Yo, can you guys move?" And I'm like, "Bro, we're waiting for someone right now." And he's like, "No,
we're not even trying to be in your like area right now."
But I remember walking in, and you guys were just again standing there like cucks. And I'm like, yo, you're good. The big ass bouncer looking down at me like this. He's like, yo, they're good? I'm like, yeah, they're good. He goes, finally. And that shit was so funny, bro. I think that's an iconic moment. And there's a couple iconic moments. We got one with your picture there with the fucking turn it into a lifestyle sign. But if you want, that's a funny story. Yo. I think you should tell them.
So this was again Fright Night 3 this past October Halloween. I'm finishing up my set, playing the last song, Unforgettable by PNB, the remix, and then literally I'm celebrating. I'm trying to hug everyone. I'm trying to dap them up. RND's about to hop on for his set. I'm like, let me just let the song finish out. Let me celebrate. Let me sing it a little bit. Because the entire time I'm stressed, right? And all of the videos. And then literally HT grabs me and is like, yo, your table's having issues with the bottles.
Payment, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like,
enjoy his moment.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? And then it was like some issue with like the cards and putting the card on file, whatever it was. So I'm running back and forth from the back of Noto and then to my table, trying to get them their bottles. They were waiting.
Mind you, that event, you can't move around easily.
Like you got like already like 12:15, 12:30.
Yeah, it's like, jam-packed.
Yeah, it's jam-packed, crazy. R&D's playing his music, and now I'm just like, all right, here, just take my card. Let's figure this out. Let's like something. If my card's not working, take this person's card. If this person's card's not working, take this person's card.
Yeah.
I was just like, come on, just figure it out, right?
Give me my
I just need my bottles. Can you get the bottles out there in 10 minutes? All right. They're like, yeah, we'll follow you. Okay. I'm walking. I'm a pretty short dude, you know, like short kings on top.
At least you said it, not us.
Just know though, if you were like 5'9", oh my god.
It'd be over. Respectfully, it'd be over.
Hold him back. Hold him back.
Can you clarify? Who'd it be over for, though?
We're not gonna go there. Anyways, continue.
If you know you, everybody. There you go. And then, so I'm walking to my booth, and it's like on the left-hand side of the DJ booth. That big table holds like 35 people, I think.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. You know, I had to do it right. You know?
Yeah, he had motion. He brought the people.
35 people I brought out. That worked. More too. Like,
Okay.
Notions. Notion.
All right, continue.
But all my friends are there, and I'm just watching, like, what's going on. They're standing on the couch, and they're just, like, celebrating. I'm like, what's going on? And then everyone has their flashes out. Shivam's with following me with his camera. And everyone just starts cheering. And I'm like, oh, they're celebrating me right now. I'm like, oh, snap. Where's my sign that I, like, ordered? You know, I got a table. Nowhere to be found. No bottle girls. Nowhere. And then literally, like, I want to say 20 minutes go by. Then the bottles come out. I'm like, wait, where's my sign? The bottles just come out. You're going to come out with the bottles and no sign. And my boy Ra, like, was trying to talk to them to get the sign out. So then eventually, like, I want to say, like, this was already, like, 1 o'clock. An hour left of the event. The bottle girls bring out the sign, or they call me to go by the side of the DJ booth, like, where you go up the steps. And they're like, here's your sign. I'm like, oh. There's no cameras, no Shivam's nowhere to be found. Darsh isn't there. I'm like, who's gonna take my picture? Ra grabs out a camera. My friend Monsi grabs out the camera, and then they're taking pictures on their iPhone. And I'm like, this is my moment. The sign says, which I stand by and I live by this, turn it into a lifestyle, right? And I'm just standing there like, there's bottle girls.
Yo, we're gonna put up the picture right now, but that picture's gotta be top 5
I'm just
pictures,
standing
bro.
there like this, like.
Yo, he's got the finger guns out like he's ready to.
I
This
didn't
is
know
like
what to
backstage?
This is like right before you go up the steps.
Homie didn't even have the lightsaber, bro. That shit went disappearing.
Wait, why did they bring him out?
My lightsaber, I was Obi-Wan from Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was my costume, and my lightsaber MVP DJ Div starts playing with the crowd, starts tossing it back and forth, and I'm like, "Where's the lightsaber that I brought like for my costume?"
That wasn't even his.
My robe had like, yeah.
Yo, rest in peace to the robe.
What happened to the rope?
He just said it.
said it.
Some girl
Threw up
took
on it.
advantage and just like was down teed up.
It'd be like that.
Teed up.
Let's just say the color changed.
For white to.
But yeah, that was an awkward picture. Top 5 most awkward moments. Of
Yeah, we'll put it. I think that's my contact picture for you now. I mean,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna make it into a group
Thank
chat
God
picture.
the contact picture.
Yeah, I mean, it was due, but
Yeah.
dude, I think that's a great moment. Yo, look, I wanna keep pushing forward because I got plenty of questions to ask you. We're only on part 6 of this, and we got a lot here, but I'm gonna make sure it's quick. We're gonna get into the real nitty gritty side of DJing, right? The side of DJing that kind of nobody talks about, right? I'm talking contracts. I'm talking dealing with motherfuckers like us, you know, begging you guys to put these sections in or selling these tickets and all that stuff. So I kind of want to know, when you hear, right, like, oh, we have an event with X, Y, and Z people, X amount of people. How are you negotiating your contract for the people who are just starting out, right? That don't know, oh, look, how much should I charge or what should I do? You know, whoever wants to start here, but go ahead.
So yeah, this is a very big topic in the industry, right? Obviously, everyone charges differently when you're starting off. You're trying to figure that out, what you're worth. I guess even to this day, I struggle with like knowing my worth.
I think that's anybody, even us creatives, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, once you find out these extra details about the event, certain things pop up last minute that might cause you to change your prices. Obviously, like, it's a growing issue in this industry, right? Like, just figuring out what you charge clients, and like, obviously different stuff, like I was saying, might come up, additional details that might cause you to shift your prices or like change it, whether it's lessening it or increasing the prices. But a big issue that, like, I guess me nowadays, like, the amount that I charge, the way I go by it is, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. Right? I
100%.
live by that, right? Like, if you're gonna, a lot of these new and up and coming DJs, I'm not gonna shit on them or anything like that, but it's just like, they're starting up, they're trying to get their name out there, they're trying to build their brand, but again, they pitch lower rates that cause us DJs that's been doing it for a decent amount of time, not like a long period of time, but like, we increased our rates, we started negotiating our prices to a higher level to what we think we're worth. And basically, it's sort of the term undercutting comes into play. And that's where, you know, other clients are like, oh, why would I pay X amount for this DJ, which is more, when I can pay Y for this DJ who charges less. And that's where I tell my clients, you know, like at the end of the day, the service you'll get isn't just based on that number, right? Like obviously you pay for what you get, right? But yeah, you get what you pay for, but the service, me personally, and the guys could add on to this, like I take into consideration where I make sure I give the highest quality of service to my clients always, right? I want to make sure that it's not just a job that I'm doing, that at the end of the day, I want them to walk out with a smile on their face or walk out knowing like, yeah, I want to bring him back.
100%.
Not just, oh, it's a payday for me.
And the job isn't just showing up and spinning, right?
100%.
You have the setup, you have the pre-planning, which again, I mean, even as a video guy, you know, we deal with a lot of that shit. And then packing up and then driving. So it's not just like, yo, I'm going to show up 4 hours of DJing. Oh, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. No, sometimes you got to drive. I mean,
He and I know about the driving.
Yeah, like, you know, you guys have done
we know.
Virginia and back on the same day.
Same day.
No.
You know
What
what I
we doing? We
mean?
just
Like,
did Penn State and back one night.
Penn State and
I
back.
just
I mean,
did
that was
Virginia
your own
again.
fault, though. Low-key, y'all had a hotel and everything, but that's besides the point.
And like people don't see like those back end conversations that we have with those clients. Like we're sitting up trying to make sure that we're tailoring to their service. This is their vision and how they want to make their night perfect.
Exactly.
Right? Especially with couples, right? For weddings, like we want to make sure that they're having a great time because they're trusting us with this big event on like for their special day.
100%.
Instead of going with someone else. And my job is to show them that you can trust in me, and I appreciate that you trust me.
Yeah. I think, sorry, I'm sure you guys have more to say, but from a nightlife point of view and someone who runs a nightlife company, it's a little difficult, like, to find that balance between, okay, this guy has a lot of skill, but obviously on our end, we can't break the bank, right? Like we understand, right? Like, yo, you get what you pay for, you know, X, Y, and Z. That's why every time we ask you, yo, can you guys put in a table? For us, we feel like we feel like shit every time asking you guys that because we know that realistically you shouldn't have to put in the table, right? That's just how it is. But in nightlife, it's a little different because we got to meet certain requirements and we got to meet certain standards. But then at the same time, we also value your skill and ability. But that's just like a different perspective. Obviously, I get your point of view. I'm sure you guys understand our point of view.
You said something that stuck. You get what you pay for, right? Like Ehta was saying, like if you pay for someone that does half the price, you're not getting the full price that we give.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like we give. At least I like to give my clients full
And that through everything. And Rohan, obviously, like going back to what you said right now, like it's not us being cocky or it's not us having this ego. It's just like we worked hard to get to this point. We put in the work. We put in that time and effort to learn and sharpen our skills and, you know, go to these events, learn at these events. Half of these events, sometimes we're not even DJing, you know what I mean? We're just learning from mentors or other DJs. And sometimes I just pop out just to learn from these guys, you know, not just people that have been in the industry for 15 plus years. How many events have I shown up to Khush to see him DJ, just to show support to my friend? Desh, Rohan, you know? And from there, I'm not speaking for everyone. Me personally, I just like to say that at the end of the day, I'm not being cocky or a dude with a big ass ego that thinks he's hot shit.
You gotta know your worth.
But I worked hard to get to
100%.
where I am today, right?
100%.
And I did about I'm not saying there was a lot of people that helped me get to where I am, but I didn't have the same track as a lot of people did, right? Like
We're gonna get there. I got a whole segment. I got a whole segment for that. But I think that's a great point. You got to know your worth, and in your industry, in my industry, in terms of nightlife and video stuff. I'm sure all the guys behind the scenes can also attest to that. You gotta charge what you think you're worth, right? And you can't sometimes you gotta decline a gig, right? Sometimes you gotta be like, yo, like this number's way too low. I'm sorry, like I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's something out of my kind of minimum rate of engagement, which I push to a lot of my mentees. Finding this minimum rate of engagement that you should have with every client. That is, if it doesn't meet this number, I'm not taking the gig. I don't care what it is, unless it's something insane to the point where it's like, yo, this will help branding. But 9 times out of 10, if it's like a 50th birthday party and they only got X amount of budget and your minimum rate of engagement is, you know, Y amount of money and they don't meet that, yo, sorry, I got somebody else that might do it for cheaper, but, you know, I can't promise that they're going to deliver the same shit that I'm going to deliver.
100%.
But again, that kind of goes on to dealing with red flags, right? You deal with a lot of red flags, and say you're a client and you're kind of picking a DJ for a wedding, or I'm a promoter and I need to pick DJs for, you know, my event. What are some red flags outside of the price cutting that you guys kind of see? Desh, I'm going to ask you, because you're relatively new in this private industry, like you're kind of starting out. What is something that you see in a client that is like, yo, like these guys don't really have the best interest in me. They just kind of want the cheapest guy available.
I think a potential red flag is what I've started seeing. As these guys were talking about, when I break down my services, what I provide, why I charge what I do, and they're not receptive. They're not open to having that conversation with me. And
That's
they're
a great
like,
point.
no, can you bring that down? Can you bring that down? I think like if someone is not receptive to you, and I think that's definitely a red flag too.
Yeah, like the dialogue. Even the dialogue's not
Yeah.
open, right? Like you can't have a conversation of, oh, you know, the client goes, oh, why is Sparklers, you know, a stupid amount of money? And you just be like, yo, like,
And I explain it to
yeah,
them,
you
and
explain it to them. They don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
R&D, I'm sure you have a red
I'm
flag.
not gonna lie, like there's a lot. Like clients that think that, oh, they can just, like with lighting specifically, oh my God, don't get this. Clients will be like, oh, I'll just buy it on Amazon and return it. I'm like, go ahead, buy it on Amazon. And then they'll ask me a day later, hey, can you connect this to your system? No, you didn't pay me
Yeah.
to provide my specialty. And so you're trying to find the undercutting way. And that's fine. You do that. You're still paying for my service.
I think that's the important thing, right? Like intellectual property, that whether that be ideas, experience, just doing shit over and over again. Like, I guess that ties back into experience, but you're paying for that as well. You know, you've been working for MVP in the back end for a while now.
I learned hella shit from the past
Exactly.
2 years being there, and I provide that on all my private events, and I've been blessed to have that opportunity.
Exactly, and you learn that over time, just dealing with the MVP side of things, and then that ties in with everybody else here. Obviously, you know, we're gonna get to it, but you're not tied to anybody. But again, you started off as a roadie, and you eventually became to a point at USA where now you're kind of one of their young main, you know, up and coming stars. I'm not trying to glaze you that much, but you get what I'm saying, right? So again, you pay for experience, you pay for quality, you also pay for the work ethic. So what you see behind the scenes.
I feel like I've told you this often. It's like I'll get clients where sometimes they don't say it directly, but I get the idea where they're throwing a party, they're throwing like an event, and DJing is not one of their priorities. Some people will say it to me straight up, and I'm like, well, you're throwing a party and DJ is not a priority? Okay.
We're not gonna name names yet.
Yeah, I mean, but it happens often, right? And there's nothing like you can do about it. Like, and like some people will like prioritize you, some people won't. It just depends on the event. But that's when it's like, all right, do I want to negotiate my price?
Yeah.
It's like, is it worth it? Is it worth
the time?
Yeah, exactly. That's I think you said it, right? Is it worth our time?
Because again, it goes back into the experience things, right? You've DJ'd for X, Y, and Z person. You've ran clubs. You've been paid to travel, right? We've traveled so much to do what we do. And you're telling me somebody 10 minutes away from me can't do the same thing?
Yeah, it's like,
you know?
all right.
Yeah. So I think that's a great point that you make. That's a great kind of, I feel like everybody in this creative / you know, kind of vendor industry deals with that situation. Where
Yeah, same thing probably goes for like camera work, right?
Yeah, camera
Photo
work,
video.
decorators,
Yeah.
like, you know, they're all dealing with the same thing. You know, so
It's a saturated market.
it's a very saturated market.
Industry is extremely competitive, right?
Yeah.
There's so much talent at the end of the day. Like I remember someone was asking me, like, they're trying to get into like event planning.
Yep.
And just a professional within this industry, because it all ties together, right? As vendors, I just told them, stick out,
Yeah.
right? Like, what makes you different? That's my question. If I'm a client trying to look in, there's 4 DJs right here. There's 5 cameramen right here,
Yep.
right? What makes you different? What makes you stick out?
100%.
Why shouldn't I go with this person, and why should I go with you? I ask myself that question every single time.
That's a great
before
question to
I
ask.
pitch myself to clients, right?
Yep.
Like if they ask me that, I have to be ready, right?
I think why me is a great.
Why me?
Why
Exactly.
me?
To sum it up, why me?
Yeah.
And that it all matters in this industry how you pitch yourself,
100%.
right? That's primarily the job. You're pitching yourself, sales, right? It all ties together, and
Positioning. I call it positioning.
positioning, exactly. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people have to take more into consideration and just think about when you're talking to those clients.
100%. I think that's insane. Like, you know, to hear from your guys' point of view is really good to hear, because again, we deal with it on the video camera side of things. Obviously, you guys deal with it on the DJ side of things. I've heard it between, you know, when I lived with him. All right, so I kind of want to move into this last segment here. about something that, we've kind of experienced all together in this past year is growth, right? We've all been tremendously growing individually as a team. Again, we've worked together on multiple occasions outside of just Appear On. So I kind of want to bring that up. Khush, I'm going to start with you because, again, we've had our moment that I think changed everything in terms of what you've been doing. We get recognized on the street for it now. People play it all over the world.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the Not Like Us Born to Shine mix, right?
Yeah.
Give us a little backstory on that and what that has done for your entire career.
I'll start from the beginning. I've been, like I said earlier, started making mixes randomly, just started one summer in 2018. And I'll say this to like all the young DJs watching, anyone that's in this creative space that's like young and watching, it's like, just trust the process. Last year, 2024, that's 6 years. I was making mixes. I had one mix that did well. And then pretty much, like you said, not single-handed, but like one of the turning points in like my DJing career so far changed my life.
So a little backstory for the audience is, I had a podcast that same day. Like I was a guest on a podcast, and I said in that podcast, make content, and you never know, the viral video might happen the next day.
Yeah. Happened
No
the same
bullshit.
day.
It happened the same day, and now it's almost at 950,000 views.
Yeah.
And it gets played. It's been played in Paris. It's been played in London. All these different India,
everywhere.
like all these crazy cities, and it was kind of full circle for me the other day. Is I was filming a wedding, and the DJ there, shout out DJ Kunal, Platinum Roadshow, he played the mix at Bellworks,
Same venue where we filmed.
where we
that
filmed
mix.
the mix. So I think that's one of the coolest things. I sent in our group chat, I'm like, yo, boys, like, coolest full circle moment just happened. Like, I heard the mix where we recorded the mix.
Yeah.
I think that's genuinely, obviously, that led you to connect with Sharad, because I've known Sharad for a while, and you connected with him. Now you work for him at USA, and now he's trusting you to be one of his kind of main young guys that he puts on the map.
Yeah. Like 2 days before, I think I only sent it to 3 people.
Yeah.
It was you, Ehta, and then one of my other boys, Shane. And
My
then,
bad.
And then I wasn't even a fan of it. And then I think Hirsch, like both of you, all 3 of you probably, were like, you got to post this. This the one.
No. I was on your ass about it. I was at the gym.
Yeah.
I remember I was at the gym. I was pissed off about something, and you sent me the mix. You'd be like, yo, like, I don't know. Should I post it? I go, this is your best shit. Yeah, if you don't post this right
You said
now.
something like that too.
This is gonna be viral.
Yeah. You said
I don't know. I
that.
don't know what they saw. I didn't even like it.
And I was like, bro, you had me getting sturdy with dumbbells in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely was like that. And I was like, yo, you got to post this like now.
Yeah. And then I think it was 2 days after.
Not
Like
even a day.
Yo, Katie and I were clocked in on the way to a gig. This dude was pulled out on his laptop in the van. We were editing the mix as we're driving.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yo, like he's like playing it as he edits it.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
this
just
guy
so
go
random.
off.
Yeah. And then we did it, and then I think within 30 minutes, 13K views.
Yep.
And then it was like 9 p.m. Go home, 100K. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Big guy here.
No, and then we woke up and it's just like it's doing crazy. And then after that, it's just like you said, it led to where we are now. And within a few weeks of that, people that I used to like throughout the last like 6 years or whatever, I said, I'm big on collaboration because I feel like, I don't know if you guys can agree, probably, but like this industry, I feel like you don't get to the top by competing, you get to the top by collaborating, right?
Agree.
That's why we're here today. But throughout the last 6 years, I was always big on like collaborating on mixes, like working with other people. But there's so many, like, I don't want to name drop, but so many people would just leave my messages on red. They'd be like, I'm too busy. Like, they didn't care. Basically, I was, in a way,
You were
nobody.
the little guy. Yeah, you're the little guy.
And then after this mix, it's like they want to hit me up now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy.
And it was nuts for like a solid month or two. You and I, like, we would just be walking down the street,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, yo, you made the Not Like Us mix, right? Yo, you were the guy dancing in the back, right? I was like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, like it's
Yo, you're the guy that's face is mad close to the camera, right? And we're like, yeah, that's me. But again, like, genuinely, I think that was a big turning point, especially, again, leading up to USA and now leading up to DJing receptions and all that shit that's happening now, which, I mean, again, I'm not going to name names here, but I felt like that should have happened a lot earlier, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, just got to trust, like, everything happens at the right time.
Yeah,
When the time is right.
exactly. That's the same thing twice.
Patience.
But
Patience, though.
yo, you gotta wait till the time's right. That's when it happens, when the time is right. But yeah, again, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off earlier. Desh, on to you. You're a pre-med major. personally, I don't know how hard that is because I've never experienced it, but I've been on the other side of someone who also does that, and I see how stressful it gets. And obviously, you got your MCATs, you got your medical school stuff, you got finals that you got to deal with, and then you got people like me. Yo, where's your table at?
Yeah.
Talk me through that process and what you deal with on a regular basis.
So one thing that I deal with a lot of stuff, right? Whether it be school, DJing, and honestly, it can get overwhelming if you're not on top of your shit. And the way that I've been able to be successful at both is honestly by like ruthlessly planning and scheduling everything. Right? I'm not saying this is like the approach, but this is what has worked for me. Right? Like I will go from scheduling a time to study. I'll be studying for a couple hours and then I'll hop off that and then hop on a call with the client. But it's all about having times for working, having times for DJing, and having times for enjoyment too. I never thought like I could get this far with my DJing stuff because I was so busy with my pre-med stuff. But like honestly, like
Yeah.
we did it. Like
I mean, I could kind of relate to you really heavily. I mean, I'm sure Khush can too as an engineer. As engineers, we're dealing with the same bullshit, you know, like as in you got to take this class at the ass crack of dawn. And I'm not going to lie, I was skipping class almost every day. I would never show up to class. I was in Philly at the time, especially my senior year. I did not care. But I think that's a good way to prioritize it, right? You got to know your priorities. People ask me all the time, yo, how do you balance this? How did you balance it in school as an engineering guy and as someone who takes this camera stuff full time and appear on full time? You know, like, how'd you do it? And I tell them the same thing. It's like, you got to kind of schedule your day accordingly. Yo, I'm not as rigorous in terms of like, yo, 8 to 12, I'm studying or whatever. But I will tell myself, yo, 4 hours, lock in, just put your head down, don't do nothing. All right, other 5 hours, edit. All right, other 6 hours, just go on client calls, sell tables, whatever the fuck it was at the time. Make promo videos, drive to Philly, whatever. So I think that's like an incredible thing that a lot of people struggle with, right? Like,
yeah.
A lot of people always do that. Like, oh, I'm a pre-med, I don't have time. Bullshit. You gotta make the time, bro. Like, you gotta plan. You're getting distracted by other things that don't need to happen. You're on TikTok. You're on Instagram Reels. I've been vulnerable to that as well. But
Yeah.
you gotta just understand like discipline, mentality on like, yo, this is where I want to go. And I hate when people say like, yo, I'm doing this, so I don't have time for this. That I think that's the lamest excuse that anybody can use.
And like to me, like DJing was always my hobby that has now turned into what it has. And one other thing that kind of motivates me is, I mean, not to say from like a conceited point, but like knowing that I need to operate on a higher level than most people.
100%.
And I really take pride in that fact that what I do on a day-to-day basis, most people are not capable of it.
100%.
And I'm not saying it as like
Cocky.
as a cocky person, but like because I have to be.
Yeah.
Right. I'm chasing two dreams at once, right? My medical dream, and then with DJing and entertainment. So you just have to be operating at like 110%
All the time.
all times. And I mean, I'll just throw it out there. Like I got accepted to med school. I'm going to med school in August.
Oh shit!
Like,
Can you say where or no?
yeah, I can say where.
Say it.
I'm going to Cooper Medical School in
Yo,
August.
congratulations! That's
So I'll
sick. I
say
did not
this.
know that.
It is
Is
possible.
this breaking news? Like, did you tell
No,
anybody?
this is not breaking news.
Oh shit! Damn, I thought
But
we
like-
had it live on the pod. Yo.
No. But it is possible to do both. You just gotta go all in.
100%.
Go all in. And if that means turning off your phone for a couple hours, if it means not responding to people for a couple hours, like so be it.
Put your phone on D&D.
You got R&D,
Exactly. But
rockin' and dickin'. R&D.
Cut that out.
I didn't know if this was even like possible. I didn't know like anyone who has like, yo, can I even do this? Like, is this possible? I went on Instagram, I went on the internet, tried to find like people who I can like get inspired by. And
There's
I found
only a
some
couple people.
Only a couple people,
Yeah.
like, and I hit one of them up. I'll say it right now. Like, I hit up DJ Timeless. I hit him up. I said, dude, how do you do it? how can I do this? He's an anesthesiologist,
Yeah.
right? So, and I had a long conversation with him. He was kind enough to respond to me. I cold DM'd him. He's kind enough to respond to me and give me all this advice. So I'm like, I'm so thankful for that, because that kind of gave me direction. That gave me inspiration. Because when you're in such a field that's like so focused on working hard, and with DJing, right, you're traveling, you're having long nights. I mean, there's times where you're filled with like self-doubt.
100%.
For sure.
Imposter
But, like,
syndrome was real.
Absolutely. And pre-med community itself, like, the pre-med community is I'd say most people are good. They have genuine intentions. But there are some people who are judgmental about these things, right? They want people to fit into the system, to fit the mold. So me being a DJ, like, I never really broadcasted that about myself until, the past like year or so, where I started gaining a little bit more notoriety, right? Before it was like a if you know type of deal, but now it's like more people are starting to know about that. Like, people are coming up to me in like the gym or something asking about it, and it's just been crazy.
That's what you call emotion.
Yeah. So it's like I've been embracing part of that. I've been embracing that part of myself more and like broadcasting that more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just been a crazy journey.
That's super cool to hear, because again, Timeless, one of the guys that you and I know very well, again, anesthesiologist, he does his thing, and you see him post the content of like, yo, from 8 a.m. till 6,
Yeah.
I'm being a doctor, and then after that I'm freaking spitting at Marquee or some shit. so I think that's the coolest thing. R&D, I'm gonna go on to you next. So actually, it's not even directed towards you. It's directed towards you, all three of you. You guys want to go corporate, right? You guys. If Bars was here, I had a whole separate question for him, but bro decided to get stuck in Germany instead.
Portugal, but yeah.
Oh, my bad. It's European, but yeah. So you want to get a job. You're very passionate about this job subject along with him, and you don't bring it up as often. But like, I'm sure you also want a job. So talk to me. Like, why? Like, what is your thought process? And why not just go balls deep, for lack of a better term, in DJing?
Dude, I would love to go balls deep in DJ. That would be my goal. But going corporate is probably the most sustainable route right now. Like, obviously, DJing, I'm still a young bull. Like, I'm not as popping as some of these other guys, like my mentors, JRK, Rewind. These guys, like, they made it in the scene where they can fully go full time and be able to sustain off DJing. Right now, I don't think it's sustainable for me. And as unfortunate that is, going balls deep right now just also doesn't seem, like the right move. So going corporate would help me, build that financial stability that I need, because obviously, like, America is ran on the economy, right? Like, you can't buy things without money. You can't sell things unless you have money. Bro, the phone damn costs $100, $300 a month to operate and use.
What phone are you getting? That's costing $300 a month.
I mean, I gotta pay the phone bill. You gotta pay the monthly on the phone.
My shit only costs maximum $80. I don't know what phone.
I think my entire phone bill.
He's got multiple phones. That's why, big guy.
My bad.
Trap phone.
Yeah, but like I said, like insurance, all this, like you can't really live without this money, and
So
unfortunately,
you're using it more of as like a kind of like a stepping stone for the dream.
100%. Yeah, financial stability is where I want to be. So like I told you this multiple times, I've told these guys multiple times. 5-10 years is where I want to be, and then hopefully divert myself into DJing and a side hustle on top of side hustling, real estate.
Yeah.
So like I want to be able to sell out houses or rent out houses wherever it be, Poconos, Germany, right? And just live off that, because unfortunately I don't want to work a corporate job, and I think I speak for a lot of people. They don't really want to sit in a cubicle their entire lives.
You don't gotta tell me twice.
So I want to be able to do that for a couple years to make the money to be where I want to be and have that growth or stability for me, and then leave it behind me.
I think that's similar to your situation, but not really, because you have this very love-hate relationship with music and DJing and all that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit about your thought process.
I've always loved DJing or music. I'd say ever since I was little, loved music, and then I got into DJing. But DJing, I'd say, is more of like hobby or a liking of mine. I've told you all the time, I don't like it enough to go 100% or like to make it my full-on thing. Maybe who knows, like down the line we might come to it. But right now, not really. Ever since I was little, I've also had a big liking for tech. I did computer engineering in school. My passion since high school has always been like a tech startup. So that's like a big goal of mine as well. But I mean, 20s are all about risks, right? Everyone says that. Before you settle down, take as many risks as you want. So who knows, like maybe DJing will take me that route, or the tech startup, if it comes to be in my 20s, that'll happen. But another thing I'd say is like, if you go all in on DJing, in the back of my head, it's like, what if there's another COVID?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
But
that's not necessarily a bad thing either. Like if you like, I just listened to a podcast the other week with A Boogie with a Hoodie, and his entire thing was, yo, like I never made music a job. Like music was always just a hobby, and eventually like it, luckily paid the bills. But he made it a job. Like he made music, bro. He used to live, sleep on the couches, and he wouldn't make no money, but he still made music. And again, eventually it turned into something that paid him millions and millions and millions of dollars and got him courtside seats at Knicks playoff games. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, I'm a little different on that end. I like we were talking about earlier, I took it balls deep. Yeah. I'm taking apparel full time, the camera work full time, the ad agency full time. So for me, I'm on a little different mindset about it. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, right? To think the way that you guys are thinking. To kind of segue off of that, Ehta, I want to talk to you about kind of your connections and your people, because you're not part of a company signed yet, technically, whatever the technical term is, but you're not with the company full time. You're doing your own thing. You're independent as fuck. You weren't in a fraternity. You weren't in something that you just naturally meet people. If anything, half of these guys had beef with you before you even started DJing. So
there was no beef, man.
No beef, but you got
no beef on this.
Again, it was mad criticism. It's always like, yo, you DJs are
100%. We're critiques over each other.
Yeah, critiques, right? That's just how it is.
I still critique him, and I tell him to.
But that's a good thing. You want, as your friend, you want to critique. But anyways, that's besides the point. You came into the industry with no connections, nobody. You made a name for yourself at Rutgers. You're hosting events. You're hosting parties now, and you're DJing for us at the biggest events in that are happening in Philly and in Jersey. So kind of talk to us, like, how did you do it? How did you get that connection to, be like, hit me up or hit anybody up in general? Or how did you connect with the people that you're connected with now to be at the spots you're in?
Definitely. I guess like earlier on, I mentioned like about how I started off DJing, and I don't want to give all the credit to myself. I didn't get here by myself. Like I had people that supported me along the way, and it wasn't easy. It was tough, right? Like it was just something that started off as an interest. Like I always had a passion for music, like I mentioned. Always loved it, having the aux, controlling the music, like it just felt like this power that I held in my hands, right? And
kind of like a god complex in a way, would you say?
Felt like Thanos. But I felt like, like I controlled the environment in the room. I controlled the vibe. And I know it was difficult because I didn't know anyone, right? Like it was something that I was interested in, but I didn't know who to reach out to, right? Like I joined a club at Rutgers, but that didn't lead me, or that wasn't enough for me to build those connections, right? Like to know people within the industry. Like I didn't know these guys. I didn't know their mentors. I was walking in blind, right? I'm a Bangladeshi Muslim person, like background. That's my background. That's my ethnicity and my religion. And obviously, like from where I come from the family I come from, it's very frowned upon, this industry, right? 100%. It's just, I come from a family that's very traditional and very old school.
I think that's South Asians in general, right? Like,
but my parents are very more on the religious end, where it's just like something that, DJing, what are you talking about? What will people say, right? 100%. That was a very big topic in my household when obviously I didn't go in the route of studying to become a doctor, to become an engineer, to become a lawyer. I was interested in business analytics, sports management, because it was a growing industry. That's the route that I took. Obviously, with my career, that's already, I guess, a strike with my family, right? Like in terms of like, you're already being a rebel. And then once I developed the interest of DJing, that was another thing with my parents where I would have to sit down multiple times and just talk with them.
Strike two.
Yeah, that was
especially as a Muslim guy.
Yeah,
right?
especially as a Muslim, and it was just hard. Like there were so many long conversations. I had to get my sister-in-law, my brothers involved, just to help them see the vision, right? That it will all unfold, right? Like trust the process. Yep. There's a method to my madness, right? There's a reason for it. And obviously I didn't know where life would take me. I didn't picture it to be this crazy, right? And I guess it just depends on the person, right?
100%.
That's all I can say. Like, where I was always that type of guy that wanted to go out there and get it. Like, I never wanted to sit on my ass. I never wanted to watch. If others could do it, why can't I? If anything, if they're doing it, I can do it better. That was always my mentality.
Real talk,
And
mind over matter.
Yeah. And I grew up the youngest in my family. I have 2 older brothers, but I also grew up with 3 of my cousins that we all say we're 6 brothers, right? And in that household, everyone's doing big things. They're doctors, they're in IT, politics, running their businesses. And I was, in a way, like sometimes I would compare myself to them, but they always wanted to see the best in me. And everyone knew we all had our different paths, different avenues to take. And that sort of like pushed me to say like, all right, I have the support of my cousins and my brothers. I have the support of my sister-in-laws. Now, talking to my parents is just another obstacle, but I know I can help them see it. And I
Life
wanna
is
say,
roadblocks.
yeah, a bunch of roadblocks. And I started only 2 years ago, but not to get sentimental and emotional here, but like the biggest moment that pushed me to be where I am today and the person that I am today was losing my grandmother 2 years ago. And she was like my rock. She was my backbone. She raised me to be the man I am today. And after losing her that summer, right after my birthday, I was going through a breakup too. It was a shitty summer, and DJing was my only escape. And in that moment, I wanted to throw it all away. I lost the person that I loved, that took care of me, that made me who I am. And in that moment, I just took a month off, and I just needed to regather myself. And I remember I was sitting in my garage. It was in the summer, July time, and I was talking to my 2 best friends, Tan and Ra, and I was just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm not feeling good. What is therapy an option? What do I need to do? Like, and they're like, dog, it's only been like 5 months, 6 months since you've been DJing, and you already pushed yourself to get your own bookings, to do this. You reached out to other people, started making connections. You were basically a nobody in the beginning, right? Like, people knew of you, but like within the industry, no one knew you.
Yeah.
And here you are. Now it's up to you. Do you want to quit and do you want to give up right here? Or do you want to make your grandma proud and keep it going? And I remember after that moment, that was the hardest summer of my life. To this day, I still look back at it and like cry about it and shit like that. And I'm not trying to be a bitch about it and stuff like that. I'll admit it. Like, I'm a very emotional person. And I look back at it, like, even though I don't want to come off as a cocky person and conceited. Like, even though life is going great for me right now, I still look back at those hard times
100%.
again. That made me get to the point I am today.
Exactly.
And I want to give all the credit to that woman that pushed me, that always, every time I would come home from college, she would ask everyone, where am I? She has 20 grandchildren, but she would ask about one person only. And seeing that smile on her face after I returned from college, and the one thing I wish, and I remember I would tell my friends, is I wish she could see me now.
Yeah.
But I know she's looking down on me, and I know she's proud of the person I am. I know a lot of people told me that, but it's just like sometimes within those moments you reflect and you're just like, I wish I could show her. I wish I could see that face when I told her, Nanu, I just rocked out this event. Nanu, I just did this. Obviously talking to her in Bangla, but like I did all of this, and it's because of you, because you made me who I am today. You made me Ehta Sham Chowdhury. And people know me as DJ Ehta, but my full name is Ehta Sham Chowdhury. And sometimes I don't bring it out there because obviously people butcher my name and stuff like that. But I always look back at it, and whenever I think of that name, I look back at my grandma. And that's a big part of who I am today. And that's a big part of why it's pushing me to make this industry my bitch, in other words, right? Like, that's my mentality moving forward. I want to be the best I can, and I want to make everyone proud in my family. And I know nowadays, like, even talking to my dad, now my dad, instead of beating me up about it, like, not physically, but like just like saying, like,
You never know in the Brown families, yo.
what the fuck are you doing with your life? He sits me down and he's like, how's your events going? And this is a Desi dad, a brown dad, Muslim dad, who is religious and who has like these strong like beliefs, and who always was against music and that environment, and is now proud of me. And the other day he was just talking about it in front of family. It was my first time coming back. I barely go home. And he was just like, my nickname is Mahi. He was like, Mahi right here, he doesn't come to me for anything. In terms of school, he doesn't come to me in terms of rent, money, and everything like that. In terms of his events, he's doing big things. And that was the first time I looked my dad in the eyes, and I was just like, wow.
That's the best feeling, too.
That was the best feeling.
Because in Brown families, like, dads and sons don't really,
It's hard to hear that. And that moment, I just took it all in. And it was before I was coming back to college, too, like, for this winter semester. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing's gonna stop me now.
100%, dude.
stopping me now.
That's an incredible story. Shout out grandma, first of all. I think that's an insane story. I think that is a story that a lot of people not necessarily can relate to because obviously a very specific situation. But there's some sort of like kind of there's a bigger reason to why you're doing what you're doing, right? It's not just, oh, I want to make a shit ton of money or I want to be the biggest DJ in the world. Nah, like I'm doing it for grandma, you know what I mean? I'm doing it to make the parents proud and to prove them wrong in a way. You know, again, I'm dealing with the same thing with my parents, but that's a whole separate topic that is can be talked about another time. But that's an incredible story, and I appreciate you kind of sharing that because you know now there's gonna be plenty of people that know that story and can relate to you more, that can connect to you more, and even just want to talk to you more about it. So again, appreciate you, brother. You got the mic close to your mouth. I feel like you're about to say something.
Oh, nah, I was just moving it. But, yo, I was about to say that was hella sentimental. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a deep story. And I feel like,
Thanks for sharing.
yeah.
I think so. Now I don't want to be that guy, but that was a very emotional story. I don't think anything's gonna top that. So I'm gonna get into the real lighthearted questions, and we'll wrap up here. We got to hit some drinks. $2 Tuesdays were coming up. Real quick fire round, and then we'll wrap up and call it a day. We're gonna go this way on these questions. But yo, guys, what's your favorite movie, yo?
Yo, all right, bro. Transformers series.
Yo, what a neek.
All right.
Desh Pandey,
You'll come back to me.
Diora, you're a big Bollywood guy. I need to hear an answer.
Bro,
They're called quickfire, not think about it. And
All right, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. First one
Okay.
that comes to mind.
okay,
What
You
do
only
you
live
say?
once.
I'm gonna say Kal Ho Na Ho for Bollywood and The Dark Knight for Hollywood.
that's a great movie. Yeah.
If we're doing both,
I might have to say Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. All right, word. I'm a big Interstellar guy. Interstellar is my favorite.
That's a great movie.
Interstellar is my favorite.
if we're doing both Hollywood and Bollywood, Hollywood, I'd say London Has Fallen. I love
Oh,
suspense.
yeah, that entire series.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
series was good.
What's your go-to pre-event meal?
Pre-event meal, bro. That's hard, bro. Chipotle or Chick-fil-A.
You love food, don't you?
I love my food.
Me too,
Especially if MVP clocks in on the credit card, yo, we getting good.
Me too, yo. I can't even lie.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself, like, obviously with MVP, I end up eating a lot of Chipotle variants. But I myself am a big Wawa guy
Oh,
for
abortion.
events.
The big Jersey guy right here.
Big Jersey guy.
Chipotle for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kati roll. I'm a fob.
Hey, seafood. So you be going on Nirvani's
Nah,
before
not
your events?
Nirvani's. Like, there's other Indian spots where my parents make it. You know, like my mom.
I just be
cooks
doing
it.
Nirvani's.
I be fucking with a little bagel and cream cheese,
Maybe you
dude.
should go get some after this.
I'm not gonna lie. Go
Behave.
Coast Indian. Bengal.
Yo, we down? No.
After 202. Man.
No, that's where I was on.
Anyways, next question. Dream spot to spin at.
Oh, I think I got a couple, bro. I mean, one of them is like anywhere in New York, any big space in New York. So Marquee is like one of them.
Brooklyn Mirage.
Brooklyn Mirage is definitely one of them. Yo, that was huge. They just revamped that, so I'm trying
That's
to.
not done yet. It's not done yet.
That's about to be in a couple days.
Yep.
Bro, I want to travel the world and do something too. So anywhere in Italy, or Ibiza, if they fly me out there and do it, I'm there. But yeah, don't really got a
Fire.
specific spot.
Sponde.
I might say, like High Ibiza. It might be, like, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Or Brooklyn Mirage. Or, like, HU2 AC.
Fire.
Those are some tough spots.
Yeah.
For me, a goal of mine by end of next year is India. Just to take it back to where it all started.
You did not start in India.
No, I mean like for the culture. Like
Bro was born here.
the
Again, for the culture. So India, yeah.
for the roots, the culture. I'm born and raised here in the States, but just like
Green
the
card.
culture.
He's a citizen.
Yeah. Etta?
I would say either Times Square, just because like the people there, like, yo.
You got big motion with that guy right here. He's DJing there real soon.
Stay close to him, and
know.
then Dubai.
Dubai is a big one.
Okay.
Top of Burj Khalifa, yo, they go crazy.
Let's flip the script, bro. What's like a place you want to host a big
place I want to shoot. I don't want to sound like that guy, but
No, you
a
mean
lot of
you
my
are
dream,
You mean us all seem like that guy?
a lot of my dream things I've actually accomplished a lot of them. A big one
that.
was mine was going on a tour with one of my favorite artists, A Boogie. I've done that. I've shot at the Brooklyn Mirage. I've
tough.
shot at clubs like Marquee and all that stuff. I guess internationally though would be sick, like at a club in Bangalore.
What about Hyperion?
The Piran, dude. Look, we want to make. Look, yo, I'm gonna put it in the air right now, yo.
Get
Give
Jason over here,
me, give us 5 to 10 years, yo. Put that camera on me. Hold on, yo. Oh, that one, my bad camera. Yo, 5 to 10 years. I swear to God, we're gonna have a festival full of artists, DJs, rappers, whatever it is. We're gonna be there, and yo, I could bet you my entire life that we will be there in 5 to 10 years, and we will host one of the biggest events that the country has ever seen. I can promise you that.
Preach.
You heard it here first.
real.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I guess.
Manifest.
Jason, what about you?
Manifesting.
What are your
What's the-
long-term goals?
Hop in.
Both as a lawyer and a Piran founder.
It's like where I want to host.
Yeah, I think.
I think it might be.
Honestly, I think like Ibiza, like I don't know, I've never been to Ibiza. It might be kind of basic, but like I think the people go there for experiences. And up here, it's all about just creating experiences that no one's ever had. So I think doing something in Ibiza for our brain that kind of started off really a city that not many people would really look at as a great nightlife city. And so we call it for affiliates, and hopefully we take that to Ibiza and have.
I think that's a great point you make. At Apparel, we're trying to make it the culture, right? We're trying to make our company not just like a company that throws parties, right? We want to make it so it's like, yo, an Apparel event. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just your regular ass party full of college students. We want to eventually get to the point where it's like, yo, Apparel's like a Rolling Loud or a Lollapalooza or like you know, like a Gov Ball or something like that.
Bigger
That
than
people,
Tao.
yeah, huh?
Bigger than Tao.
Bigger, I mean, shit, yeah. Bigger than Tao. Yo, I can't say that because they be providing venues for us. But but you get my point, yo. We want to create a culture. We want to create a movement outside of just parties, and we want to create a whole kind of industry where everybody is happy to be in that at an Appear on event. And I think that's the coolest thing. But last question, and we'll wrap up here. What's a song that you're never getting tired of listening to ever? Or a song that you, I mean, I already know your answer, but what's the song that you're playing at every single event if you're allowed to play at the event and you're not going to get tired of it?
That's good, yo. I mean, I stopped playing Dreams and Nightmares now, I'm not gonna lie. That used to be go to Sickle Mode. That's probably like, that one gets the crowd hype. I don't listen to it personally anymore, but if I'm at an event and I'm ready to pop out, like show up, Sickle Mode's going on.
I might have to say Dreams and Nightmares. Philly guy, I'll say Dreams and Nightmares. That's that's a crowd pleaser always. Like everyone knows that song and gets everyone hyped, especially in this area.
I mean, I feel like we could all relate to the lyric. I used to pray for times like this, right? So
We really did.
yeah. So Khush,
I'd say, in terms of during an event, it would be "Over" by Drake. One of my favorite songs. I'm a big Drake guy. I'll try to always play that.
Yeah.
But besides that, you know this 52 Bars by Karan Aujla.
Yeah,
That's a song. Almost, I think I started this after I met Karan Aujla himself like 2 years ago. Every single event after that,
Big
that's
celebrity
my
guy.
big celebrity guy here.
Anyone
but-
else you bet? Doja?
This guy.
We don't gotta do all that right now, but like, nah, we don't gotta do all that. But like, that'll be my sound check song, like for every single event now. It's just that those lyrics really hit. In Punjabi, he's basically saying how he went from nothing to where he is right now.
Yeah.
So those lyrics just hit.
At a Shrum.
I think like I didn't get to play this as much as I would like to, but like definitely whenever I do get to play for the right crowd, Trap Queen by Fetty Wap, just because Patterson.
Yeah.
Jersey? Patterson, dog.
Well, bash.
Born and raised, but
Which is in Jersey though.
Patterson. There's so many people from Jersey, but like
Yeah,
barely
true.
any people from Patterson that made it out. And it's just like something that I look at, like I was born and raised in Patterson, trying to make it out, make a name for myself. And if we're talking about Bollywood, I have to throw it in there. But like my favorite song to play and listen to is probably Tere Liye.
Yeah. No Quattro Ka?
Oh, Cuatro K is for sure. That's just
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
That's a different
That's
type
what
of
I-
DJ that they don't want to see, but like
Yeah.
that's always given. But like I don't want it to be basic,
Unless someone doesn't let you play that, right?
man. He took that away from me. I know though, man.
Anyways.
I think I played it too.
Yeah, he played it. I played Lama Mother though. Shout out Alafa.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that has been the inaugural episode of the Guestless Podcast. I want to appreciate every single one of y'all for making time to come here, spending 2 hours of your night kind of talking and yapping with me and supporting us from the beginning at Appearon. Again, this podcast and our company in general has been about the culture, whether that's rap, Latin, hip hop, house, whatever it is, we've always been about the culture. So starting this podcast for us was a no-brainer. I still remember the initial conversation we had about starting this. So again,
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
months ago.
6 months ago, yo. So again, appreciate y'all. I want to thank Slick Barbershop for letting us film here and letting us take the time. And I know it's late. I'm so sorry. It's 10 p.m. $2 Tuesdays is starting. I know you're trying to be outside too, so I was trying to go home. But thank you for letting us film here. You're probably gonna hear from us a lot more. Check them out on Instagram socials. We'll tag everything here. And thank you to the viewer for tuning in and listening and watching, and really taking your time to get to know these guys, get to know us, get to know everybody behind the scenes. I also want to thank everybody behind the scenes, operating cameras. We got Om,
Shout out
Shivam,
the team, bro.
yeah, Tanish, Darsh. Who else we missing?
Jason.
Yeah, but Jason's kind of just mobbing.
Shout out.
Jason just looks at. He looks at. I did. I said show.
Sorry.
I said show.
Show him again.
Shiv him again. They set up, I walked in and they had everything set up, so appreciate them. And yeah, guys, I just want to, tease something that we're trying to do here in the future. Halloween this year, if you're a sponsor looking for some sort of branding, marketing, ad placement, anything, this Halloween we're throwing one of the biggest events that the Northeast has seen, and I can put my entire career on it. If you're a brand looking for a sponsorship opportunity, if you're a company that is looking to get some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Exposure, marketing. But there's one more, activations. If you're looking for activations, hit me up.
Bro.
Motion. Hit up the Appearon group. Hit up my personal account. Everything's gonna be tagged. And I want to shout out to the team at Appearon as well. That without them, this wouldn't have happened. So shout out to everybody on the social media team. Everybody in New York, Penn State, Krish, Krish Labaria, that God forbid he's ever somewhere, but Krish Labaria. And again, round of applause for the inaugural episode. And follow us on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe. See y'all later, y'all. Take care.
Peace.